And hello, welcome to Open, the show that opens the Bronx and the rest of the world right to you. I am Daren Jaime. Today we'll update you on what's happening in and around our borough and New York City. Coming up, we'll discuss how one program is helping small businesses thrive by giving them all the necessary resources. And after that, we'll explore the inspiring work of a foundation transforming the Bronx through art and community engagement. Then we'll talk about a film festival that's showcasing a variety of films that are aiming to inspire, disrupt stereotypes, and transform attitudes. And we'll sit down with the student journalist who talks to us about concerns about meal plans and food quality at Mercy University. We'll give you more details a little bit later on in the show. And then finally, we'll discuss the critical issue of food security, or I should say insecurity in New York City, and those innovative practices that are being taken to tackle hunger. So stay tuned because all this and much more is heading your way. Right now, we're officially open. Hello, everyone. I am Daren Jaime, and you're now watching Open, a live program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to you. We also want to welcome our viewers to the Manhattan Neighborhood Network, as Open is being broadcast simultaneously on MNN's channel. Now you can stay connected to us on all of our social media platforms at BronxNet TV. Some things have been going on throughout the past week. We'll take you through it with some Bronx updates. Well, we start off our show today with health news. Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield offered free mammogram screenings, as well as breast cancer. Let me try that again. Breast cancer education, emphasizing the importance of early detection and supporting those affected by the disease. Our BronxNet reporter Chris Camilla has the story.
October spotlight on breast cancer awareness shines brightly here in Hunts Point, as a unique health awareness event takes place, bringing valuable information and resources to the community.
It's very helpful. I think it does good for the community. It helps people move along in their life, and the things that we have options. Thank God we have options, because in other countries they don't have that.
Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield's Pink Power Party is an ongoing tradition for the healthcare organization and participating community members. Dozens pass by the pop-up stations outside the Hunts Point building front as representatives and residents alike emphasize the importance of regular breast self-examinations and mammograms.
This mobile clinic event is put on 3 times a year by Anthem Health and dedicated partners. However, during the month of October, efforts are being ramped up to get the Bronx community more involved and aware about taking their health seriously.
We've invited our members to come out and get their mammogram screenings done today as part of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We've partnered with St. Barnabas Health Systems, which is one of the local hospitals in the area, to provide these free mammogram screenings for women.
St. Barnabas Health, in partnership with the organizers, offering mammogram screenings and breast cancer health education in their mobile clinic, where they take checkups on the go, here and across the East Coast.
The community needs to be aware that this is important before it gets to the next level, and this is the moment. And thanks to our partner, we're providing free mammograms. It doesn't matter their status, immigration status, it's free for the women who are over 40 years old.
It's a yearly commitment to promoting health awareness and supporting local communities that keeps the healthcare provider active and involved with the Bronx. On Southern Boulevard, Chris Camilla, BronxNet Community Television.
And thank you, Chris. In other news, even as the fall settles in, South Bronx residents are still grappling with the intense heat due to the heat island effect, causing urban areas to be hotter than their suburban counterparts. Our BronxNet reporter, Brittany Schuyler, has more details.
Although the fall season is here, residents of the South Bronx are still trying to beat the heat due to the heat island effect, which happens when urban communities are hotter than suburban neighborhoods. One reason for this is lack of tree canopy coverage, causing heat retention by buildings, roads, and other infrastructure.
But the South Bronx has the least quantity of green space per capita than mostly any other community in the city.
This effect results in heat-related illnesses and mortality, increased air pollution levels, increased energy costs, and in some cases, poor water quality. Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson, who was joined by Waste Management and South Bronx Unite, says that enough is enough and calls upon the community to get involved.
You don't need a title in front of your name to care about your community. But if you start somewhere by volunteering, imagine what it can turn into.
The South Bronx takes a massive hit with only 15% of tree canopy coverage. Today, advocates are making that change one tree at a time, with another tree behind this one planted just a few minutes ago.
And these trees will provide cleaner air for us, help us be healthier, help our community strive for more healthier outcomes.
All present hope this week's informative session will increase awareness and involvement for a much healthier borough. Reporting for BronxNet, Brittany Schuyler.
And thank you, Brittany. In community news, almost 40% of Bronx residents don't have access to reliable broadband, in large part because the cost of them too high, as well as half not having computer access. Now, the Center for Educational Innovation is hosting a conference addressing the issues of limited internet access in the Bronx and crossing the digital divide. Our Bronx reporter, Kibna Naleen, brings us the story.
The Center for Educational Innovation hosted a conference and book reading for students and staff at Leaders of Tomorrow Middle School, highlighting the powerful role the internet and modern technology plays in achieving academic success.
When I was in school, it was these big block computers, and then it was smart boards and laptops. But for our students today, it's actually leveraging and using technology to learn. It's actually leveraging and using technology to do research. It's actually leveraging and using technology to advance their thinking.
However, in the age of advanced technology, communities across the country face challenges simply gaining access to the internet. Addressing the disparities, Dr. Nicole Turner-Lee created the book Digitally Invisible: How the Internet is Creating the New Underclass.
You know, whether it was during the pandemic or before, there were a lot of people across, New York, as well as across the country that were not connected to the internet to just do basic things.
As technology advances, educational institutions have integrated it into the learning process. Joseph Biernaut, the principal of Leaders of Tomorrow Middle School, tells me more about how the digital divide affects students in the Bronx and how this challenge became particularly evident during the pandemic.
There's tremendous inequities. So what we saw during COVID is we could provide students with devices, but even then they weren't able to get online, or if they were able to get online, it was limited for the amount of time, or they had to fight with a sibling to be on class.
President and CEO of CEI, Michael Colhagen, explains how this effort is just one of many to end the digital divide for families in the Bronx.
Dr. Porter and I share this vision of once and for all ending the digital divide, whether it's with satellites, whether it's using schools as the hubs for each community, whether it's using school buses, whether it's just turning the dial up at the cable company so that more people really do have access. But we're determined to figure that out, and I think this is the right place, and we have the right people at the table to have that conversation.
Reporting for BronxNet, Kibna Naleen.
And thank you, Kibna. That is all the time we have for our Bronx updates. We are taking a quick break, but guess what? We have more open when we return. And welcome back. Here's a fun statistic. Do you know that 81% of consumers research products online before purchasing? Well, that is true. Yet, many small businesses still lack an online presence due to cost and technical barriers. The New York City Small Business Resource Network's open and online program is actually helping free website design, branding, as well as more to give to small businesses in the Bronx and beyond. Now, joining us and sharing more, we got the Small Business Resource Network specialist, Levine-Pinedo, and then also the owner of TR Precise Woodworking, Thomas Rooney. And thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so let me dial it back a second. So as I said earlier, like everybody's researching before they actually, make that purchase. The reality is a lot of our businesses are not ill-equipped, if you will, for small businesses, and you're doing a good job of trying to bridge that gap.
Yes, we are trying our best at the Small Business Resource Network. So the acronym is SBRN. It is a comprehensive program where we assist and help businesses here in New York City to grow. The SBRN is divided into the 5 boroughs, and so we are actually the SBRN Bronx Chamber of Commerce team that we help specifically Bronx businesses here do the best and be the best that they can be.
Yeah, and so in terms of skills and resources, right, we know that sometimes small businesses are really lacking in that area. It's just hard enough to get the business going, right?
Yeah,
and then here you go, and I need the necessary resources. But for yourself, the organization, really doing a good job of putting the resources in business owners' hands so that way they can go ahead and go that next step.
Absolutely. So I actually ran a business myself. I was a GM for about 8 years. So I actually was recruited by SBRN, and now I'm sharing the information that I received to other businesses here in the Bronx. So we have a plethora of resources through SBRN. We offer financial, marketing, technology, which we're going to speak a little bit about today. We also help with MWBE certification here for the city, just different sorts of resources, legal, and one-on-one consultations and networking.
Thomas, yourself, you're a business owner and doing pretty well. Talk to us about just being a business owner and those challenges, right? Because I think so many times we don't really necessarily know the challenges that go behind the scenes for business owners.
Yeah. The marketing is really helpful for me to get my business out there. So, yeah, it's pretty good.
And for people who don't know about your business, why don't we tell them real quickly?
Well, I'm originally from Ireland, so I came here in '96, and I do a small renovation services and stuff like that, and I do custom furniture. So that's what I love, and that's what I love in the business. So.
Yeah. Now, what part? We were talking about this before we went on. What's the name? Where?
Carrot McCross, County Monaghan.
Try saying that twice.
Yeah.
All right. and for those of you that don't know, it's right near Dublin. It's in the suburbs.
Yes, that's the easy way to say it.
That's the easy way of saying it, right? As I think about, Thomas, right, and just getting started, going out and, putting your business out there, you want to make sure that you're, putting your best foot forward. So many times, the first thing we know, you don't do business these days without having a website.
Right.
And then on top of that, businesses are also accelerating due to social media. There is a difference, though, between the social media component as well as the website.
Absolutely. So I think, let's just say Thomas, for example. He loves his craft. He loves his trade. He's busy running his business. It's hard to sometimes maybe find staff. There's staffing issues, time restraints, just different things like that. So we step in and help, right? So we advocate for businesses like Thomas's business because there's just simply not enough time sometimes. And maybe, social media is not a business's thing, right? There's some people who that's just not their strong suit. So we come in, we help. From Open on Online, we help design and develop a website for businesses for free of charge. It is completely free. We have professionals who work with you one-on-one to help design it and, develop it to your needs and the way that you like it and your preferences. It also includes 1 year completely free for the domain. After that, then there is a small fee for business to maintain it, but really there's no strings attached. It is a free website. And we're here today to let businesses know that this resource is available because I think that we are doing a great job letting people know, but there's always room for improvement to let more people know. This is here for you. If you're a Bronx business, we have this resource for you. So please. Yeah.
What do you hear from your customer base? I mean, when they come through the door, do they say, hey, I looked you up online, I saw you, how does it go?
It's normally word of mouth with my business, but the marketing, I think, is the new way of doing stuff. You know, it used to be years ago that I'd go with a portfolio of all my work, and nowadays it's like you go on Instagram, you go on, you know, all the social stuff, and but the website has really helped me out a lot with showing my work.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're involved in the Open and Online program, right?
Yes.
So share with us what goes on there.
With how it starts or how it goes?
Yeah.
Well, just I filled out the information, got qualified for the online thing, and very helpful. They got a website done for me, and yeah, it's been totally cool.
So the website has it been a difference maker for you?
It's very good for me because it's somewhere for someone to go look at what I do.
Right.
So like I can show photos and, you know, stuff like that. Keep it fresh, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do like outreach, which is how we met Thomas and other Bronx businesses. So we do actually go door to door here in the Bronx.
Right.
That is what we do every single day. But there are businesses, there are home-based businesses that we may not be able to get to. So it's really important to have a segment like this so people are aware of this resource. But basically we go door to door, we do outreach, we do networking events, meet small businesses. The small business applies for Open Online. We refer them to the program, and then you know, it takes a little bit of time because it is 5 boroughs.
Right.
But once the ball gets rolling and the professional designer gets to you, you provide the content to them to help develop your website, and it just takes off.
Yeah, I saw some interesting numbers here. You guys completed 1,100 projects to date that served more than 850 businesses across the borough.
Yes, that is, yes, exactly. And we are taking right now about 8 to 9 businesses every month in the Bronx are getting accepted for this program.
Awesome.
Yes, I would also like to shout out Wells Fargo because they are funding this Open and Online program.
And are you finding the businesses are saying, listen, you know, we really need this here?
We just got approved for a home-based business. She's a baker in the Bronx, and she is so grateful. She said she would never have this opportunity, and we basically kind of like pushed her to get it done, right? Because when you're running a business, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow, but that's not, you know, for your business to be successful, you have to like act now. So she's just like, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. You know, it's wonderful.
As you share your words of wisdom with other business owners, right, about the program
Yes.
and about this, what would you tell them?
I would say it's a must because it really, I like the way it gets all my stuff out there with people. And I just was a great program. It saved me a lot of money, per se, just to get a website.
Right.
You know, because that costs a lot of money right nowadays. And once I qualified, I was good to go.
So do you feel well equipped? Because I know you're on Instagram too. You got Instagram and then the website. Do you feel really well equipped now?
Yes, definitely well equipped now.
Yeah,
Yes, amazing.
Yeah, because I think you can have the best product or the best service, but if you're not translating that into like an online market, like it's just, you know, it needs to be both things, you know?
Yeah, word of mouth only gets me so far.
It only gets you so far in a little, you know, little pocket.
Right.
If you really want to get out there, and I think for a very long time, Bronx businesses were always like the last, right? So we're just doing our part to change that narrative and really, really advocating and promoting Bronx businesses so that they shine.
Did you have any fear or apprehension? Because, you know, when you talk about word of mouth, that's local, right? But then when you talk web, internet, we're talking global. Any fear from you as a business owner?
No, bring it on.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's the kind of business owner we want.
I love it.
Bring it on. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to apply, what's the process for the application and what do they do?
So if you want to apply for the Open Online, you can reach out to my personal email is SBRN. So it's S Sam B Boy R Richard N Nancy at BronxChamber.org, and I will refer you to the Open and Online program. You can also reach out to outreach at BronxChamber.org as well. We will put you in our database, and we will send you the resource and the link to sign up and apply.
Yeah. So what's the future hold for you?
Lots of building.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of furniture making.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how long have you been making furniture?
Oh, since I came here, I got into construction in '96. So I've been in the business since. Yeah. And now it's really, you know, I just love making furniture. Yeah. Well, you know.
I want to say it's been good having you, Thomas.
Thank you
Thomas
so much.
Lord, thank you so much for being with us. Continue the great work.
Thank you. I also want to add one more thing, if I may.
Go right ahead.
If you, if English is not your first language, we cater to everyone: English, Spanish, Mandarin, Arabic. Even if we don't speak a particular language, we have a huge network of small business resource specialists throughout the 5 boroughs that can assist. And also, if you are listening to this and you have a business in Brooklyn, for example, we can refer you to the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce to get you these resources as well.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for being with us,
Thank you
Laura.
so
Thank you so much.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
All right, now listen, if you want more information, go ahead and visit the website at nycsmallbusinessresourcenetwork.org. We encourage you, don't go anywhere. We've got more open coming up right after this.
Hey, creative family. My name is Timothy Coleman, and I'm the Director of Education here at BronxNet. And I'm standing in BronxNet's Media and Technology Studios in the South Bronx because I want to let you know about an amazing program that we're bringing back that highlights the creativity of community members just like you. Emerging Media Makers is a show that introduces you to BronxNet's certified producers. They've taken a step in their creative journey by enrolling in BronxNet's media training classes. On this show, you'll get to see the many ways that our certified producers have created a space that's all their own. Emerging Media Makers, your passion lives here.
And we are back. The Boone Avenue Walls Foundation is celebrating its 10th anniversary year. They use graffiti for urban renewal, community empowerment, and environmental education. A new book, Beautifying the Bronx, Boone Avenue Walls, chronicles the growth of this artistic movement with stunning photographs and tributes to the many generations of artists who've contributed. Joining now, we've got the Boone Avenue Walls Foundation Corp's founder and curator. We've got Win COD with us, and thank you so much for being with us.
How's it going? How's it going?
I'm going good. How you been?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Listen, when we talk about graffiti, obviously, the borough has a particular flavor for it, right? There's some who do, some who don't, but then actually, yet and still, it's a part of like urban renewal.
Well, there is definitely a stigma to it that it can be negative.
Right.
And so what we've been doing for the last 10 years is we took a section of the Bronx that was initially, neglected. It was a warehouse district, but it was also residential. So everyone had to pass through those neighborhoods and get to their schools or go about their day. And so about 10 years ago, I got permission from one of the landlords, the Good Old Distribution Company on Boone Avenue, to do a commission job. And while doing the commission, I asked him if I can do the whole facade, which is about 350 feet, basically the entire block.
Right.
And so he agreed. And so I invited 22 of my friends to come out, and we put up some nice murals, and it lasted. It looked nice. And so we did it again the next year. And we did it again the following years. And every year that we did it, more people would come out and greet us and say thank you. And the neighborhoods are nicer to walk through now. There was a lot of vagrancy and drug dealing on that warehouse block, and still it was a corridor to pass through to get to the schools.
And we're looking at it right now, and some of the work that's been done. How long did this take to come together?
Well, the event took 7 years before I realized we wanted to make it an actual not-for-profit type of corporation where we could, maybe get the community involved.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, we were just doing it on our own and just doing beautiful artwork on the walls. Usually it takes 2 to 3 days for a completed mural, maybe 30 feet, maybe 20 feet high. That's actually about, that's a large wall. That's over on Bruckner,
right,
by the McDonald's. So we cover a lot of areas in the Bronx. We have 2 main areas in Mott Haven on 132nd Street between St. Anne's and Brook, on the Food Fest warehouse, where it also was covered with a lot of like unsightly graffiti. And so we covered it with murals. We did the same thing on 134th Street between St. Anne's and Brook at the Penna Plumber warehouse. And again, this is a community where people have to walk through every day to get to the train, to get to the food market, and it was just kind of like battleground looking.
Right.
And I think now it's more an art walk. You can actually enjoy it.
And when you talk about art walk, these artists, I mean, they're participating. They're saying, "Listen, I want to contribute my gifts and my talents here," and it goes to the beautification of not just the building, but also, the borough.
Well, that's, I think, one of the advantages or one of the good things of our event is that we have artists that date all the way back from the 70s painting with us, as well as artists that may have just started up to 5-10 years ago. And so there's generations of artists that are now meeting each other and, just having conversation. Also reaching out to the neighborhood people that come out from the neighborhood, get to meet these young artists, all these, veteran artists. And also the children in the neighborhood are inspired and ask a lot of questions. And there's actually artists that are painting now at the event that 9 years ago, they were a little too young and they just came up and asked for some autographs, and something happened and they are now artists traveling the world and doing commissions.
There's a lot of community impact that happens because of this, right? Because when people see this, there is this revitalization, if you will, because you've taken sometimes a dilapidated structure, transformed it, right? And then at the same time, you also have community that just gives you that energy.
That's kind of exactly it. So the neighborhoods were ignored, and we started doing our festival every year. We gathered 22, 40, 60. This year we had 160 artists. And what that does is it lets people in locally, really tight in the neighborhood. Not everybody goes out in the boroughs and spends money. Some people are not able to, so they have to kind of like stay regional. And there was nothing there happening. It was just warehouse, and it was kind of despairing. And so doing the event actually has people looking forward to it every year, and we communicate often with local community leaders about this, and there's definitely an energy and a momentum going forward with it. We've gotten expansive. We expanded a lot from just the 350 feet to over 3,000 feet of mural space. So we cover from the Cross Bronx Expressway to Jennings on Boone Avenue. We cover Vice Avenue from 174th Street to Boston Road. And then you walk maybe 3 blocks to Whitlock Avenue, which for 50, 60 years has just been really dark and dirty and grimy. Well, if you walk there now, you'll probably want to stay there for a few minutes to look at all the artwork that we put up on the walls there. It's been a change.
And talk about the artwork. I see a book in front of us. Let's talk about it.
I do. I have the book with me. Beautifying the Bronx Boone Avenue Walls. This was put together by my friend Kurt Boone. He's the author. And it basically chronicles the last 2 years. This particular book is only the last 2 years of the event. And it's just full of camaraderie, pictures, people meeting for the first time. We had a lot of friends and people come from overseas. So we had people from Japan, we had artists from Brazil, we had artists from Germany, we had artists from England, we had artists from Norway travel into the Bronx to make their mark, to make, to get claim for fame.
Yeah, and I mean, the culture. I mean, it's great to see. You talk about these international artists who come in, and then you have the local community. This whole vibe, right? I think, isn't that really what community is about? You got, you got local, you got national, you got international, and all this under, in one neighborhood, beautifying one neighborhood and bringing art and culture to the community.
It is something to behold. So I started this basically on my own with help from my friends, Ovi, Souls, Silo. These guys all from the beginning helped me organize with other artists and organize cleaning the walls and actually cleaning the streets. We do a lot of that too. So not only did we just come and paint, but we actually trimmed the shrubs, picked up all the trash physically, put 30 trash bags on a corner for the Department of Transportation to pick up on their pickup day. And it made a visceral impact. You can see the difference. And people like that. It's something that we did. We kind of policed ourselves. That's also kind of the idea, that this is coming from the grassroots. There's no bureaucracy, there's no budgeting. We all pay for this on our own, and that's our mission. The goal eventually, I think, is to make this an actual destination site in the Bronx. So as if you would want to go to the Bronx Zoo or the Botanical Gardens or Yankee Stadium, you may also want to take a really pleasant art walk in the South Bronx in 2 locations, one or the other.
Right, and then you can check out either or and see some great work. And as we say, great work of art.
Great works of art. Great works of art.
Thank you so much for being with us. If people want to get the book, how do they go about that?
Well, right now the book is only available hands-on. So if you contact us via our Instagram or our Facebook, you should be able to contact us and we'll make arrangement. We ship out the books. We have shipped out the books.
Okay.
And I just wanted to mention some organizations that have been helping us.
I got to run, so you got to say it real quick.
Okay, Projectivity, Thrive, YMPJ, thank you very much for all your help.
All right.
Boone Avenue Walls, thank you, everyone.
Win COD, getting it all in here. Listen, now, if you want more information, visit the website, booneavenuewalls.org, and we encourage you don't go anywhere because we got more open coming up right after this.
Only 57% of New York City high school students are college ready by their senior year. "55% of high school graduates either have no plans to attend college or are uncertain that they will ever attend. "34% of young adults don't go to college because they can't afford it. Discover what's possible. BronxNet's education programs, internships, and opportunities help engage and inspire Bronx youth and beyond to pursue their passions. Be a part of the BronxNet family. Whether you're interested in our shows, joining a class, or donating to support our mission, visit BronxNet.org to learn more.
19.7% of Bronxites currently experience food insecurity. Meanwhile, instead of these nice, colorful foods, this is the best food that they have access to. If this sounds like you, there are a bunch of resources to get healthy food for free or cheap. If you want to help, you might consider donating or volunteering in one of these places. Community fridges like this one are all over the city and allow New Yorkers to conveniently donate extra food to people who might need it. Go to this link and find your nearest one. Food banks and pop-up events like these provide millions of healthy meals to families in need. These organizations are distributing meals to Bronxites as we speak and are always accepting donations and volunteers.
And welcome back. The African Diaspora International Film Festival offers a platform for films that are celebrating and challenging the experiences of people of color worldwide. Now in its 32nd year, ADIF is returning to New York City with 62 films from 32 countries. Joining us now is the Outreach and Marketing Specialist at the 2024 African Diaspora International Film Festival, Nina Hay. And then we've also got the co-director of Black Table, Bill Mack, and thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. It's wonderful to be here with you today.
Hey, glad to have you both. And Nina, I'm gonna start ladies first. Talk to me for a second here because, this has gone on and grown down through the years. And when we talk about the growth, I mean, since 1993, a lot of growth has happened where film culture, awareness is actually being bought. Talk to us about the growth.
Yeah, so we're really excited to be back in New York City to celebrate our 32nd annual festival. So this year we're bringing 62 films from 32 different countries all over the globe. We have around 31 premieres, so there's something new for everyone to experience. And we'll have some really, really awesome events where folks can engage with filmmakers and Q&As, panel discussions, and receptions directly. So it's been a long time that we've been here in the city, but we're super excited to be back. We're based in Harlem. We're a nonprofit, so we're really excited to be screening all over New York City this year.
Yeah, and I know one of the things is that, when we look at some of the films that you have, they challenge the stereotype. They deal with justice. They deal with issues that so many people sometimes like to sweep under the rug. There's an awareness that comes with the films that you bring to the public.
100%. Our core mission at ADIF is to spotlight nuanced stories of people of color, specifically people of the African diaspora.
And our films really highlight that we aren't a monolith. We have different perspectives, different histories to share that reflect resilience, community, and triumph. And I think Bill's film Black Table is really one of those strong films and documentaries that made a huge impact to our team here, considering that both of our founders had attended Ivy League universities, are of African descent, and this film directly speaks to how people, Black students in Yale, navigate their life um, on campus.
Yeah. I want to bring Bill in for a minute and have an opportunity to share with us a little bit. Bill Mack is the co-director of Black Table. I just talked about justice and really awareness, and this is what your film brings to the table.
Correct. I mean, it's one of those things where black tables are the elephant in the room, in a lot of different rooms, in a lot of different environments. We chose to use Yale as a lens because there's an experience that we had, and people are familiar with the brand of Yale. And even though that black tables form in your middle schools, high schools, corporate America, the workforce in different capacities, we wanted to shed a light on how we wanted to talk about the black table, and also kind of contextualize it with the story of affirmative action, because it basically is, we were like 25 years into affirmative action where we hit this high watermark, and then 25 years later it was basically put on a chopping block and ended.
And looking at where we are right now as society and all that's going on right now, I think your film speaks relevance, right? That it's important to take a look at from whence we've come and where we are right now. What's the hope, Bill, for yourself, for people who actually take a look at this film? It's about 93 minutes long. What are you hoping that people walk away with at the end of the 93 minutes?
I think that in a way it sort of airs some dirty laundry, psychological laundry for people. Some traumatic things have happened in the film that are one of the reasons why we form things like black tables. So I think it's two things. I think it's sort of a cathartic experience for those of us who have had experiences that are either microaggressions or macroaggressions that we often hold inside for forever.
Right.
And that stuff really hurts. So there's that. And then there's, for people who, wider audiences aren't familiar with the black table, I want them to feel like they sat at one. They actually got to experience one, so maybe it's less intimidating. Maybe they don't look upon it and frown upon it as something where the black people are like segregating themselves. It's just a reason why, we need to have a safe space in our existence, especially when we're going through either a corporate struggle or an educational struggle. We just need to have a place where we don't have to code switch or change who we are to represent on a daily basis.
Yeah. And let me bring Nina back in. And when we talk about the African Diaspora International Film Festival, a lot of work goes on in terms of creating this awareness, letting people know about justice, about the African diaspora, quite honestly. When we look at the African diaspora, talk to us a little bit about what you want people to take away there too, because as you have filmmakers, there are people who are really shedding light in some areas where light really doesn't necessarily get shown a lot.
100%. And this year we have an exciting, powerful selection of films led by women directors that illuminate the African American experience. We have a few titles such as Chocolate Milk by Elizabeth Gray Bain, which addresses racial disparities in birth and breastfeeding by following 3 Black mothers in Los Angeles who confront healthcare inequities while advocating for change. We have Locked Out by Kate Davis and Lucina Fisher, which follows Black women in Detroit as they strive for home ownership and amid systemic barriers. And we also have a really interesting gala event, which is the premiere of Breaking Boundaries by Dina Burles, which follows Nastasia Generalova, who is a rhythmic gymnast of African American and Russian heritage, as she overcomes racial and economic hurdles to pursue her Olympic dreams. So, and many different aspects. We target different identities within the African diaspora, and we have a bunch of programs that really hits home for everyone. So we're really excited to be able to share that with everyone this December.
And we talk about December. I gotta go, but let me do this before we go. Please share the dates so people can check out the film festival.
Of course. So we're going to be returning to New York City from November 29th to December 15th. We will be screening around the city at Teachers College, the Forum at Columbia University, Leonard Nimoy Italia Theater and Cinema Village. Tickets start at $13, and you could also, they're available online and at the door as well. Please, for more information, please visit nyadiff.org.
All righty. Well, you kind of stole my thunder there, Nina, but I'll give it again and again. I want to say, Bill, congratulations, and I hope that people walk away with a greater sense of heightened awareness, and thanks for the work that you do.
Thank you for having us, Daren.
All righty. Bill and Nina, our guests here. Now, listen, as Nina mentioned, if you want more information, go ahead and visit the website at nyadiff.org. That's DIFF.org, and then follow them on Facebook and Twitter at NYADIFF. Encouraging you, don't go anywhere. We got more open coming up right after this. Back, Mercy University students began voicing their concerns after experiencing food-related health issues, including food poisoning and poor meal quality. In response, a petition was created calling for changes to Mercy's dining services. Here now discussing more is the managing editor at the Impact newspaper. We've got Alyssa Politi, and thank you so much for joining us, and take us into Mercy University for a minute. And, obviously, we know it's a good school, but yet and still we got some food challenges.
Right, and thank you again for having me. I've been on student government for, since like my freshman year. And the biggest concern we've heard from students is always the dine-in, whether it be the food quality, the service, or just even like the diversity of the options that are being served. So a fellow friend of mine, actually, she started this petition where it was about the meal plan that we have. There's only really one meal plan option for the dormer students, which is like around $2,000 for the semester. But then she was getting sick from some of the food, like you mentioned, like the food poisoning and throwing up. And then other students as well had the same experiences. So she created this petition that got over 500 signatures. And we were like, we have to write about it at the Impact.
So you've been investigating and covering this. What have you come up with in your investigation?
Well, we've had a few students who created anonymous accounts. So they were posting pictures of the food. And we noticed some of the food was either like meat was undercooked. Some of the food had like plastic on it, even chicken that had feathers on it, where I don't even know where that would come from. Some of the food contained mold, or some of like the milk was expired in people's coffee. So that's pretty much what we discovered in the food quality section. In terms of diversity of food, more students were looking for maybe more vegan options for themselves, more protein options for like athlete students, more halal food they were asking for, and they were just asking for food to not be served so often. They feel like they were eating the same food every day.
So these complaints are taken to management, university officials. What's the response?
They try as best as they can. They attend our student government meetings, like the people from facilities at our school, or we talk to, the manager of the cafeteria during our time reporting on this story. And they always just say that, they're trying the best that they can for students. They do try to listen to us. I think it just takes a while for things sometimes to come into place or for real changes to be made because we are in contract with, a company with the food. So I think sometimes it's hard for changes to come super soon, or the next semester, let's say.
Well, when you talk about expired food, or if you talk about, food quality issues, undercooked meat, those things can't wait.
Right. Definitely not. I've heard about the same stories recently too, because this was last semester that we reported about this. This semester I've heard the same thing with moldy bread, undercooked meat, the same things. So I don't understand why the food quality is still almost the same, but mostly every time that we try to talk to them, they do say that they're listening to students.
So the newspaper's been covering this, right? And so
Right.
what has been the buzz on campus among students since you've been, bringing this to light?
I think they really enjoyed that we've been bringing it to light because they've had this concern for so long now. I would say since my freshman year, so years. A lot of the students too, they reacted in ways that we did not expect, where some of like the dormer students, they had lights in their window that were saying like the food sucks and just all these like things. And with the petition, and we were able to talk to students, and we had them on videos, multiple videos of students talking to us. So I think in a way they were really excited that we were covered and they were able to share their concerns. But at the same time, I think they were maybe a little nervous, the fact that they're critiquing food that they eat every single day.
Right, and there's always fear of repercussions when you're a student, right?
Of
and I
course.
think there's always that fear of repercussion that somewhere along the line somebody's going to punish me for actually speaking out and dealing with this. Because
Right.
it's a very sensitive issue, right? But on the other side, how many universities and colleges do you think are dealing with this?
I couldn't really tell you because I feel like I guess maybe in social media eyes, it's a little different, but usually I see on social media people at other colleges, they'll post about their dine-in, and it seems like it's great, With our college, I wouldn't say the dine-in is entirely bad. I guess, it really does have its moments, of course, when you have moldy food or expired milk. But there's also students who will say, they do enjoy the food. Maybe the pricing is good for like commuter students. For example, we have a buffet for like $9 for lunch. That's really not bad at all compared to like the times we're in now.
And so where do you go from here? Where do you see things happening?
I see things happening since we're still hearing student concerns, every week. I would say for the impact to just keep reporting on it, us keep talking to more students, taking more videos, more pictures of the food that we see and what's going on in the cafeteria, and just really talking to as many students as possible while also connecting to the faculty, because it's not just one side.
Right.
It's the other side as well. It's facilities, it's the dine-in, the management in the cafeteria.
And what have staff said? I know I've talked to them publicly on record and off record, right?
Right. We did interview, we have on video with the manager of the cafeteria. And then we did talk privately with one of the lead people in facilities who handles the dine-in and listens to student concerns like on the daily. But it's usually the same response, trying the best for students, listening as much as we can, and trying the best with the situation that we are in with, the contract we are in with dine-in.
Yeah. What else are you working on?
Right now, I'm actually a city government reporter for Rye Record in Rye, New York. So I usually attend like the city council meetings and write about the city of Rye and whatever's going on there.
Yeah, well, glad to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for bringing us the story and this to our attention, of course. We'll tell you, let you know if there's any more details, and she'll come back and update us, right? So we encourage you don't go anywhere. We got more open coming up right after this. We are back. The Food Bank for New York City works with over 800 partners, providing food, nutrition, education, and some economic empowerment across the 5 boroughs while advocating for a more equitable future. Our next guest, a U.S. military veteran who is dedicated to addressing hunger, not only in his community, but particularly among food insecure veterans. Joining us now is the Director of Operations at Food Bank for New York City, Mohammed Talha, and thank you so much for being with us, Mohammed. And first and always, I always say thank you for your service.
Thank you. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you for having me here today.
No, thank you. And, you know, when I think about what goes on in New York City, it's a hustling, bustling city. You know, a lot is going on. And sometimes we lose that tendency of forgetting that there's so many people out there who are struggling to eat from day to day. You talk about struggling to make it, but really struggling to eat from day to day. What are you seeing with regards to food insecurity?
So you're correct, sir. Currently, if I share some stats with you, currently there are around 1.4 million New Yorkers who are facing food insecurity at the moment. And if we talk particularly about veterans, New York has more than 133,000 veterans residing in New York City. And out of those 133,000 veterans, there are at least 11% who are facing food insecurity and 7% who are unemployed.
So for yourself, this is not just, you know, it's personal and it's a passion.
Absolutely, sir. I'm a veteran. Right now I'm serving in U.S. Army Reserves. I work with veterans. When I'm there, I see veterans who served before and now they are back to their civilian life. There are several reasons that they are facing this food insecurity. Some of them are no more employed. Some of them are employed but not making enough income, especially their circumstances these days in the world that they are not able to easily afford the food every day. And that's when our organization come in to support veterans in every way possible to make sure they are getting the nutritious food every moment they want.
So for veterans that are out there right now and that are food insecure, what are some of the challenges that are really resonant to this population?
So just like you just said, some of them are unemployed. Some of them are employed but not making enough income to afford food. The way a food bank may help them and are helping them is to employ veterans just like myself. Give them employment, train them. Just like I know how it feels when you transition from military service to a civilian career. So it's important for civilian organizations just like Food Bank for New York City to respect those veterans and employ them and train them, bring them up to speed to get them running just like they were playing their part to serve the United States of America.
Right. You've made a tremendous transition, right, from armed service to being an advocate. And for yourself, talk to us about that journey that's got you to a place of, you know, becoming an advocate. Yep. How'd you get there?
So I'm still serving in the Army Reserves component. The journey is amazing, sir. A little bit background of me, I was born and raised in Pakistan. I was not born in the United States. I'm an immigrant who moved here like 14 years ago. And when I came here, I saw a big difference of life. This was a completely new, different world to me versus that part of the world, where we lack basic human rights, where the food insecurity is too high. If we talk about Pakistan, 30% of the population is facing food insecurity. So when I moved to this country, I got that respect and importance of which every human being should get. So that drove the passion inside me to start giving back to this country. And probably like 3 to 4 years after I moved here, I decided to join U.S. Armed Forces. One of the reasons was I was always very active in terms of like athletics and things. I always loved adventures. So Army was one of the ways where I could go enjoy those adventures and at the same time start giving back to the United States, who was giving me a lot, which I could not get in initial part of my life.
Yeah. So here we are now, and the work continues. When you look and see where we are today, do you see things getting better or worse?
Things are getting better, sir. We all have to play our part. If every individual play their part to help the community to overcome the food insecurity, you do see a difference. So we just have to continue the great work we owe to the community who do not easily deserve food.
Right. So you're the director of operations. Talk to me about how that goes.
It's amazing, sir. We are a mission-oriented organization. Our mission is to help every New Yorker to achieve food security for good. So day starts with the mission in mind. We all gather in the warehouse where I work for. I'm the director of operations of that warehouse. We have a mission in our mind. We go in there and we make sure that work we are going to do today is going to get to those tables of community members who might not have food if we do not work hard to get them what they deserve. So that mission drives all of us in the organization. It feels super happy at the end of the day of what we are doing for the community.
Yeah, and the community response. How do you feel about the impact that you're making right there?
So a lot of times when we go on the food pantries or the member agencies who we distribute our food to, whenever Food Bank New York City truck stops to deliver food, you see a line of up to 200 community members waiting for the food. And whenever a truck stops and you see those smiles and satisfaction feeling in them, okay, food is here, that's a very emotional feeling to see. And also we feel really blessed to be a part of this campaign to help those members who wait for the food.
And the holidays are here, coming up on us right here. Any anticipation as to like how busy you'll be?
It will be very busy. We're already busy, sir. We just need to make sure that everyone enjoys the holidays. Everyone have things to enjoy on Thanksgiving.
Right.
So it's just not us. Everyone in the community should do what everyone should be doing to enjoy.
Okay. Muhammad, glad to have you here. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for having me, sir.
I appreciate you. Now, next time you come back, you call me Daren. You don't call me sir, because that makes me feel really, really old right now on this show, okay? So
Roger that.
All right, Roger. All right, listen, now, if you want more information, visit the website, foodbanknyc.org. I want to tell you, come to the end of our show today. Thank you. And I want to thank all of our guests for joining us and you, the viewer, for tuning in. Again, a special thanks to Muhammad for his service to the country. Now, if you missed any part of today's show, catch Recablecast right here on Optimum Channel 767. Verizon Files, that's Channel 2133. So let me get it right now. Again, so you don't say I messed it up. It's Optimum Channel 67, Verizon Files, Channel 2133. Or watch us anytime on the web at BronxNet.org. Yes, I know what channel I'm on. All right, you can catch a brand new episode of Open with my girl Rena Valentine on Friday. This about wraps up this episode for Open. I am Daren Jaime. I'm saying, listen, make sure you keep this channel wide open. I want to say take care. God bless. See you real soon.